Alright, Gemini, it is time for your September reading. Go ahead and get your 10 card draw. Okay, we're starting with the Two of Wands, and we'll be using the Vice Versa Tarot. I hope that you've had a good month so far. This new moon was a little bit rough on me, and that's why I'm wrapping up a little later than I anticipated. We also have the Knight of Cups, the Strength card, which is Leo. Let's not do that. We had a big jump. Looks like Gemini still has a lot of decisions to make. It's interesting because I know this season right now, something I was reading and I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was talking about how there would be a lot of like cycles closing in as far as like a change of perspective. There's a big energy shift. It was about solar storms is what it was. We also have the King of Cups. So we got a lot of feels going around in here. So a big jump there. We've got the Six of Pentacles, the Ace of Pentacles, the Ace of Wands, the King of Wands, the Three of Wands. Got a lot of wands going on here. I need one more card. Gemini, okay. We've got the Eight of Cups here. So I kind of got the impression that Gemini is still really experiencing a lot as far as shifts and changes. Personally, the shifts and changes that I was dealing with were based off of intentions that I had set previously, and then kind of when that coalesces, it's oh sorry, it's on the screen, sorry. When that coalesces, it's it can be a bit straining. And so it seems like the intentions that you have set, whether it was consciously or unconsciously, you have a lot of decisions to make around that. I don't know what's going on. I just got itchy. I don't know. Someone's itching a lot. Like itching or burning. I don't know. You guys have something, like something's just nagging you. I don't know if it's like mental or physical, but where you're just like I'm itching to tell you about it, or I'm itching to talk about it, because it just came up for me. but I feel like you have a lot of choices and decisions to make, and you have a lot on your mind that you have to go through before you can fully process what's going to happen in September. And I feel like that is going to be a big part of September, and I don't know if that's the whole month or like just a part of the month, but maybe we can clarify that a bit more as well. So I'm seeing lions in here already twice in your reading, starting with the Two of Wands. So there's a lot of fire going on for Gemini, and air feeds fire, so it's like maybe this isn't necessarily something that Gemini, that is happening to Gemini, but more so Gemini is feeding into a situation. So Gemini, this may not be, when I read this may not be specifically you, but it may be more so your situation and the primary energies of those you're dealing with in your situation. That being said, there is a lion showing up here in the background on the wall sconce. And then we have this energy, masculine, looking out, and he is surveying his kingdom. So this lion, this Leo fire energy may not be you, but a background energy. And you are looking out and surveying your domain. So this is someone, you surveying your domain, and somebody is watching you. We also have the night. I'm sorry, this itching is like, I can't think of what it is, like what it is saying, but we'll circle back to it. We have the Knight of Cups, so this is emotional. This is like an enthusiastic, more energetic energy as it relates to it. But when we turn it around on the shadow side of that, we have the Crab here, which is Cancer. Or it can also be something hidden. And I want to say ego related, and I'm not sure why that is, but it's like there's something there that you are not aware of, that it's almost like this is being offered, this cup is being offered, and it's either like a Cancer energy that's being dealt with, or there's something that isn't 100% known. And this is oddly specific. It's like with someone watching you, it brings me to, like, they know what you have going on, where you're here surveying your kingdom, and they're like offering you something, but it's not with honesty, because there's like this thing, and this is behind them, and it's also on the back, on the darkened side of the rock, so it's like you can't see that, and they're not being honest about it, but they're like, oh look, I brought you this, and it seems a little disingenuous. Subterfuge even. We then go into, again, the Leo energy with the Strength card, and there's also this like Capricorn looking figure on the back here, and this is Strength, so this would be, I mean, here you do look strong, but it's also like inner strength. It's not just, and I think that relates some to the situation as well, because it's like there's things that you don't know about it, so being seen as a strong figure, they may feel like they have to be disingenuous, they have to be underhanded in their, that's the word I was looking for, they have to be underhanded in their approach to you, because they don't feel like they measure up to your standards. They don't feel like if you knew the whole truth of the situation, you would still want to deal with them. And this could be a relationship or a business partnership, or some kind of, this is some sort of interaction or transaction, and relationships can still be transactional. So it's like, and this is this is not, this is an exaggeration potentially, but just as an idea, going out with someone and you've been out on a few dates with them and they have kids, but they haven't told you that. And when I say you've been going out with them for a little while, like, this is more than like 4 dates at this point. Like, you've been seeing them for a while and they haven't been honest about that. So it could, or it could even be like it on the other side, like you having this whole kingdom, right? You, like, you're well off, you're square, you're settled, and you're talking to somebody, and this could be a business partnership or a romantic relationship even, and they know that they have a lot of debt that they haven't told you about, but they also know that you are like financially set, like your debt is organized, it's intentional. Theirs is like, oh, I maxed out a couple credit cards and like I haven't really done anything about it. So it's not the, and here's the thing, if you care about a person and they're honest with you about something like that, and you know that they're changing their approach to things, that may not be a problem for you, but the problem is that they're not being honest about it. So, and I feel like that also brings us back to strength, because you have to be emotionally strong, because like, do you face this, or are you gonna turn your back on it? And I'm not saying that facing it is necessarily strength, because if you decide to walk into this situation with a person with all the information, whatever the situation may be, that is a kind of strength. But when you find out, if you find out that someone has not been totally genuine with you, and you turn your back on someone that you truly care about because of that, because they haven't respected you, that is also strength. We then have the King of Cups here. You can see he's sitting there with his feet on the rocks, and it's dark, and he's got that cup and it's balanced. So this is being in the masculine energy, in the emotional space. There's also a dolphin back there, and I like to point that out because it can be a spirit guide. If that means something to you, then this is specifically for you. So either you are in this part relates specifically to whoever is in their masculine energy as far as emotionally speaking. And it's like, this is, I care and I do have feelings, but this is still like the logical take a step back and evaluate the situation. And we have that re-emphasized here, where again, and so this is interesting because it's, I'm sorry, this is the Six of Pentacles here, but with the Two of Wands, we have that masculine figure surveying the kingdom. We have the King here in Cups, and then we have the masculine energy again in the Six of Pentacles surveying his kingdom. We also have on the back of this card masculine, feminine. We have Mercury, Saturn, and Jupiter, I want to say. Let me check. So that is Mercury, Jupiter, and Saturn, yep. So also Mars and Venus, because it is masculine and feminine. And then there is the moon, so that may be important to you. But again, here what's really striking out at me is that he is surveying his kingdom. But again, it's like he's being watched here. So, and it came up in reverse. So I think the key here, so this could be you. It could be that you are watching someone who has all their ducks in a row, or someone is watching you and you have all your ducks in a row. Man, this is a lot. This is, someone is definitely watching you, because again here with the Ace of Pentacles, and it came up specifically this way. Like this way is more like the new beginning energy, like the start of something new, the start of something abundant. But we came up this way where there's like two people walking by, and he's like, is like show off. So that does change things a little bit, because if you are, and I'm not saying that this isn't someone just like stalker-y vibes, because that is a little bit here, but it can also be like you going around flashing your wallet and then being like, I don't know why I feel like all these girls be after me and they aren't really genuine about what they want, but you're like walking around like flashing your money, and the kind of person that kind of behavior would impress is probably not the kind of person that you want a long-term relationship with. Just putting that out there. So, and if this is in business, again, people are like, oh, he's got money to burn, he can afford this, like I need that, let me get partnered up with this person. I'm not going to tell them about all my credit card debt that I maxed out like trying to start this business. Like it's not balanced in a way, because there's not, this information hasn't been shared equally. Gemini, what is happening? But we also have here that with the lightning strike, the something that you have desired, the wish being fulfilled. It's something like there's passion about it, like you were in pursuit of this. Even on the other side with the eagle, that is like wish fulfillment. So this is like the new start in as it relates to passion and fire. So this is like someone's watching you get your wishes granted. And then we have deception showing up here with the King of Wands. We've got that serpent wrapped around the tree, and his back here is turned. So if it comes up this way, that's like the full masculine energy and in fire, but that's two different ways. So it's like something that you are passionate and emotional about, and someone is watching you have your wishes granted. This is like jealousy too. It's like somebody's like flashing all this abundance around, and I don't like, people should be happy for you that you have a lot of stuff, but you also don't want to be like showing off. So like, and I know that that's not for everyone, because there's definitely like this creepy stalker vibe happening on one hand, but then we also have that like, oh, I got it like that, just making it rain everywhere energy. So those are conflicting. So so those are like fringe elements of what's happening. But then in the middle ground, there is that element of even, so I think what I'm saying is those are the two extremes of it, and there are going to be people who are experiencing either of those extremes. But in the middle, for most people, it's just going to be this overall situation of someone being abundant and having it like that, and somebody else coming in and trying to get in on their abundance and not being honest about their motivations. And I understand wanting to be connected with someone who is abundant, but you also have to be honest with the person. So Gemini, if this is you, evaluate your situation, because I feel like there's some things that need to come out. Then here, and this one's interesting because I'm going to show you two cards at once, which I don't usually do. We have the Three of Wands and the Eight of Cups. We have that with the yin and yang, and then the sun and moon. We have the light, dark, the water, fire happening at the same time. And with the Three of Wands, it's like he's walking out of the forest into the desert. So this is like arriving at clarity. Like you've had this deception going on, and then you see this clearly, and then you're kind of turning your back on the situation as far as the emotional aspect of it, which is interesting because we've got this in the full masculine energy, and we've also being offered this cup up here, but you're turning your back on the cups and you're going out into the night into the shadow side, and these cups are kind of beat up. So it's like someone has, even from this aspect, someone has abused your trust. Someone has broken trust with you, and emotionally speaking, you don't even trust this person. And it's also interesting because this here you have the masculine in both water and fire, and that was in the king energy. And then we have that the water and fire, the duality, the yin, the yang, showing up here. And where he's turning his back, it's coming out into clarity about the passion, because this is fire here, and turning your back on the emotional piece. So it's, and when I say turning your back on, it's like going within, like your trust, the emotional connection that you had with this person is broken by the end of this situation, and you are going within for like to like reevaluate everything. Once you get the full facts about it, you withdraw from people, and you're just like, I'm gonna have to take some time to think about this, to think about what happened. So I feel like this is clarity. Like with you're like so passionate about this, there's not really anything that you don't know. So even though this person isn't really telling you, I feel like you go and you find out the details, and that's when you're like walking away from this. So I want to clarify a little bit about what it is that you're walking away from, because we still don't really know if this is like romantic or this is business, because we've had the pentacles in here, but we've also had a lot of cups, so it's hard to tell. And we had fire, so it's really difficult to see, is this specific, like it's something you're emotional about for sure, but I want to separate that, break that down a little bit more and see, is this a relationship or is this like business? Like what is this? I guess there may be more options than that I'm not seeing, but what is this this situation that you're turning your back on, Gemini? And it may not be Gemini that's turning their, okay, I'm going to put some of these back because this is a lot, and we're going to shuffle again and see what else we get, because that was like a whole book. So it's like there's a lot of situations that this can apply to, and I definitely want to narrow that down for you for a bit, because this is so, there's a lot happening, and it's like very specific but also very general. So if we can get any more clarity on what Gemini's situation is. So maybe let's start with this. Is this Gemini, or is this the energy that Gemini is, how do I word this? Is this Gemini? I keep getting a lot of cards. It's like there's so much here that still has to be decided. And I mean, that's what we were talking about at the beginning of this reading. It's like Gemini has a lot of decisions to make before this story plays out. But I want to make sure that you're equipped to... Okay. Ooh. So we got the Two of Cups here. So this is more so, this is a relationship. That's not to say that it isn't work related, but that you have a very close connection to this person that would not necessarily be, it's not 100% romantic, but it looks like it's potentially been there, or somebody in this situation does have romantic feelings. And as far as it being Gemini, Gemini is definitely in this, but it's like, if it's romantic feelings, right, then there's two people in the situation, so it's Gemini and somebody, not, and that would mean more so that it's not like a business, but a business partnership, or, wow, this is crazy. Okay, so, wow, so we also got the Seven of Cups that showed up here, and this was on the top of the deck before I picked it up to start shuffling to clarify. And I don't know if you can see his face there, but his like, you can't even really see his eyes, but he's like literally like, what do I do? Also being in deep water. So there's like overwhelmment, there's confusion, and like this is the reverse of that is like a spirit guide being there, but this is in the dark here. So it's like it's this about the situation. And this typically is like healing, and the star, so also the star showing up there, the star is Aquarius, so you may be dealing with an Aquarius Gemini. So I would also watch the Aquarius video. It's like when all of this started, this is how it was, right? It was like, it seemed like a really good situation, and I do think more so that this is someone that Gemini have had a more romantic relationship, less likely to be a business partnership. But if it is a business partnership, that business partner is like you are close to them, and you were close to them before this, and that is why ooh. So maybe it's almost like you were looking at this Gemini as a romantic relationship, and this person is looking at you as a business opportunity. And then you find that out. And that is shitty. Let me clarify on that. That's how I'm reading this. And that, let's see if we can get any more. Is the person that Gemini is dealing with looking at this as a business opportunity? Ooh. So I had two cards jump out, the Four of Swords and the Seven of Pentacles. So that's two sevens, Seven of Cups and Seven of Pentacles. So this is the person that Gemini is dealing with. This is like, it's like this is how they see you. They don't feel like you are gonna wise up to the situation. Like, and for me, this card is always Nero fiddled while Rome burned. And I know the guy's sleeping, but it's like he's like, oh, what? Like he doesn't even really know he's not with it, and the city's on fire. So, and that's not to say that your city is on fire. It isn't. They just, like, they see you as a mark. And then here, this is them. Like they're not confident in their own ability to manifest, so they feel like they have to take from you. So Gemini, this is also a little, I'll just put it this way. This can reverse. So Gemini, if you are the person who feels like you're not able to manifest, and you're like looking for the mark, and you're looking at someone like this, then I think that's also an opportunity for you to evaluate and be like, hey, like I don't have to take from someone else. I have creative energy as well. But evaluate that and see if that isn't how you approach people. If you don't feel like I can't do this myself, I have to take from someone else, then realize that there's somebody who's looking at you in this way. And that's not to be suspicious, but to like find your facts, do your research, and really know who you're doing business with, who you're getting into a relationship with, and that you talk about everything in detail. And if you're like making financial plans or whatever the case may be, like do all of that together and have all the cards on the table. Gemini, I know this is a lot. I hope this was helpful. And thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you next month.